Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Wednesday, the 2nd of October, 2024. So, the synoptic situation, and this is as of midnight last night. There's two main factors, really. One is this low pressure over southern Europe now, and another is this high pressure just off the northeast edge of Scotland, both of them squeezing weather between them out directly over the south part of the country. And if I run this through to midday today, you can see the high pressure's taken hold a bit, actually. So it's sort of keeping the low pressures away, except we are left with the residual of the occluded front literally right down the south end of the country, leaving us a very, very moist northeasterly flow. Spot winds are not working at the moment, but I put windy up to give you an indication. For winds this afternoon will be about 11 knots from the northeast at the surface. And if we look at the cloud radar, we can see we've got this lovely high pressure now over the northeast of Scotland, giving a beautiful weather up there. We've got this low pressure based over the continent, and between the two, we're getting this very moist air being dragged in from the North Sea, and you can see there's a lot of cloud running its way down the length of the country. And if I pick up the rain radar, we can see that whilst there might be quite a lot of cloud over there, there isn't necessarily that much rain. I mean, there clearly is rain at the moment, but there's going to be a dry patch really before we get any heavier rain later. But what we are going to have, we might not be having the rain, but we are going to have the low cloud that's going to affect us today. If I run through the Met Office predicted rainfall forecast, this will back up pretty well what I'm saying. So we've got a bit of moisture at the moment. This is through 10 o'clock. But where we are at the moment, it's going to remain quite dry. There's a lot of poor weather up towards Birmingham, but it's actually going to leave us in a very dry run of weather, albeit this low cloud. We might not actually get a shower at all this afternoon. Local forecast is indicating overcast initially, possibly a little bit of sunshine around about 3 o'clock, but that's where we may or may not get one of them showers. So it's pretty well overcast, rain at first, but then after about 10 o'clock it's going to be dry. Winds northeasterly 9-10 knots. Thereabouts. They are giving some gusts of 20-23. Not quite sure why we're getting them gusts, but they are forecasting them, so we do need to be aware about that. GFS is giving us max temperature today about 15 degrees with a dew point down at 12. So there's a very small split, 3 degrees split between temperature and dew point, and that's probably contributing to the sort of rubbish we've got outside. So this is at 8:15, and if I refresh that now to just gone 9 o'clock, it's brightening up a little bit, but we've still got this lingering low cloud about 300 feet. Okay, temperature currently 12 degrees, dew point down at 10. And look at that, the last 24 hours, the temperature dew point have been flat throughout. Clearly not having a very big split there is giving us the lower cloud, but I'm encouraged that it is going to improve a little bit later. And I've just shown a quick chart here of the rainfall. It's getting towards the part of the season where we do need to think about the airfield a little bit, and we can see over the last 3 or 4 hours we've had 3 or 4 millimeters of rain drop on the airfield, so we do need to be mindful of that for later. Perhaps it'll be okay today, but later on in the year that's definitely going to start to become a problem. Okay, METAR at Odium is giving 7 knots from the north currently, visibility 3,500 meters, broken cloud at 300 feet, which is pretty what we've got, and a very, very long TAF. So I'll concentrate more on the Farnborough one, who are also giving at the moment 4 knots for the north-northeast, few at 500, scattered at 700, broken at 1,300 with light rain. Well, that's what we've got at the moment. And then if I run through the TAF, it's staying pretty well poor, but I'm just going to highlight this last little bit down the bottom here, becoming between 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock local, scattered cloud at a height of 2,000 feet, with a 30% probability of being 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock today, this 7,000 meters rain and rain showers. So we may get some windows of opportunity, certainly for winching, from around about 10, 11 o'clock onwards today, but we may possibly just get hit by a shower. Okay, if I run through the significant weather for today. So this is at 10 o'clock in the morning. I think you can see south part of the country, low cloud and showers. And if I just run this through to this is at 1 o'clock today, and we'll get a few brighter patches now, you notice. And if I carry that on, so this at 2 o'clock, there's a very, very bright patch in the part of the country where we are now. And I think that's a bit of weather that's probably going to give us 2 or 3 hours of reasonable winching, if that's what we have the enthusiasm to do. And then that just progresses, in fact, staying clear, looking until about 5 o'clock today. Sky sight, of course, is giving you usual rubbish, which is what we've got out the window. Very low cloud base. Around about 12 o'clock, it's indicating cloud base is going to go up to about 1,500, 2,000 feet. So this is the window I'm hoping we might be able to get something in this afternoon. And winds are 10 knots, about 050, 060, and they're giving gusts of about 20 knots. No TAMs, not a lot to mention. I will just briefly cover the local ones. So we have Barton Stacey 34, surface to 1300. Ash Ranges, Danger Air 132, surface to 1100, and Uphaven telephone number change. Right, so let's have a look then. We'll start off initially, of course, with a cross section. And this is updated from Odium about 2 hours ago. So a lot of low cloud initially, but raising slowly. And the low vis is actually going to increase from around about 10 o'clock onwards, I suggest. So we've got this patch in the middle where I'm hoping we'll get some flying in. And they've got mean cloud base here around about 1,800 with some lower stuff about 1,300. That's a bit I hope we might be able to do something with this afternoon, a little bit of winching. Okay, we do have a Beach 200 arriving just before 4 o'clock local today. Low cloud and rain at first, clearing by midday, hopefully. Cloud base may make 1,500 to 2,000 foot. Surface wind will be about 050, 10 knots gusting 20 maybe later. And when we set up, we'll likely set up on 09. Please watch out for wet areas on the airfield. Okay, 4 K21s and 3 K13s available. 3 K21s on the booking system. One is with Charles Baker after aerobatics, so I think that's probably going to not happen. And we've got Jim Gavin, Nigel Pringle available. They have students booked. Available single seaters are all booked today. Remaining K13s and the K21 available for the casual list. I noticed Susie's got a name down for the casual list, but she's also got a name down to fly with Nigel. So that K21 will not be required because it'll be available through Nigel. And reminder about the buggies, please. There is a K13 booked by Steve Williams from Booker for some spinning. I suggest that that's not going to happen today either, unfortunately. And the simulator is available as usual. There's the flying list then, Charles, with Guy for aerobatics. Really, that's not going to happen. Good theory day there. Jim Gavin and Nigel Pringle have got K21s booked. Trial lessons I've cancelled today. And casual list, well, that's Jerry Cook, and Jerry can fly with any of the available instructors. And the single seaters all booked. So when we set up, then we'll set up on 09. We have got a north easterly wind, so it'll probably be a red flag day today. Winching off the grass to the south. Any area turning, if we do it, and I suspect we probably won't do any, will be off the grass north. And the usual warning, please, about not crossing the lazy runways on the ground. Land before, in between, or afterwards. And instructors, please take over should that look like you're going to be crossing over there on the ground because it's ripping up the main wheels. Okay, right. Well, I'm going to be here all day. I'll keep an eye on the weather. I will set the launch point vehicle up in about an hour's time, I think, on the launch point. And I'll leave it for you guys to decide when you're going to de-ice some gliders at the hangar. Please leave them in if it's raining. Speak to you later. Bye.